Now at 10, the Ottawa County 4-H Horse Club hosted their Show-to-Yo event in Miami. Plus, George Washington Carver is remembered today with the premiere of a locally produced film.
Buffalo Bills player Damar Hamlin remains in the hospital, but his spirit filled this stadium as his team took on the Patriots. I'm Bradley Blackburn with how Hamlin was cheering them on and how teams across the league paid tribute to him.
The four states' most watched news starts now.
Thank you for joining us tonight. I'm Cale Chapman. You may know him as the Peanut Man, but the George Washington Carver Museum in Diamond, Missouri is changing that narrative. With this year being the 80th anniversary of Carver's death, the museum celebrated his life by showing the locally produced film, Seeds of Success. The film educated attendees on Carver's life as a humanitarian, plant doctor, and agricultural scientist.
I mean, it's kind of like anybody, if you think about it. We all have parts that make us up, make up who we are, and he has a lot of parts that make him up too.
According to the film, the Kansas native broke racial barriers and saved peanuts from extinction. Area youth got to participate in a Show-to-Yo event today in Miami. KOAM's Yana Atala participated in the event hosted by Ottawa County 4-H Horse Club and has more.
Local youth gathered their animals today for the monthly Show-to-Yo, hosted by Ottawa County 4-H Horse Club.
It teaches so many life skills, and then, teamwork. I mean, a lot of these kids are competing, but they're also encouraging each other and working together too.
Jamie Foster, 4-H volunteer judging the showmanship competition, says this event is important for the youth to get some practice in and raise some money.
They do a silent auction at each one and just try to raise a little bit more money for their year-end awards.
Kyron Newton participated in showmanship with her Pony River. Participants do a pattern and they are judged on how well they can control their horse on the ground. Newton says she has been preparing at home for the event.
You walk forward, you turn around, then you trot and you back up 5 steps.
She thinks the showmanship was a success. Next up was the rodeo events, which include competitions such as barrel racing, which is a timed event.
You do all these events, and you at the end of the horse shows, you get rewarded by stuff.
Events like this would not be possible without the time and effort volunteers put in.
It takes a lot to put one of these on, and without the parents and the volunteers stepping in to help these kids, they don't have anything else to do. The kids can't do it themselves, so the volunteers and the parents really help put these things together.
Foster mentions Northeastern Oklahoma College is graciously letting the 4-H club use the indoor arena.
For NEO to let them use the arena, it's a big plus and a big help for the kids.
In Miami, Yana Haudala, KOAM News.
Foster says the event is held 6 to 7 times a year. And our student meteorologist, Chloe, joins us with a first look at the weather.
Yeah, so we've got some colder temperatures right now, and it's only going to get colder as we head into tonight with our lows. Temperatures right now are hanging around in the middle to lower 30s. Grove down there at 30, Anderson at 32, even up north Iola at 34, and Chanute at 35. Very consistent, but consistently cold. Now tonight, we're also going to be in the lower 30s. Our low is 32 for Joplin, but by the time we head to 10 a.m. tomorrow morning, we'll reach up into the 40s, so it'll be a little bit warmer, but not by a whole lot. Now as we head into our main weather forecast, warmer temperatures are approaching. We have a chance for some rain and a little bit of snow on Thursday and maybe a next system on Monday. I'll have all of that information coming up here in just a bit.
The Buffalo Bills played their first game today since Damar Hamlin went into cardiac arrest on the field nearly a week ago. The Bills defeated the New England Patriots 35-23 at Buffalo's Highmark Stadium. Across the nation this weekend, football fans and NFL teams are expressing their support with prayer and emotional tributes as Hamlin shows strong signs of recovery. CBS correspondent Bradley Blackburn reports from Buffalo, New York.
What started off earlier in the week as a tragic scene has slowly turned into a celebration of life.
From the broadcast booth to tailgating parties and all around Buffalo's Highmark Stadium, good spirits everywhere for Damar Hamlin's remarkable progress.
Everyone is going to be thrilled that he is awake and talking, and it's just going to be awesome.
As the Buffalo Bills took on their AFC rival, the New England Patriots, Sunday, fans signed a giant get well card for Hamlin just outside the stadium. In Cincinnati and at NFL games nationwide, Hamlin's 3 has become an inspiring symbol amid encouraging signs of recovery after he went into cardiac arrest during last week's game against the Bengals.
Just to see, the whole NFL and the whole country, sit there and surround him and give prayer was absolutely unbelievable.
Buffalo has seen tragedy in the last year, a mass shooting, a deadly record-breaking blizzard, and now Hamlin's injury. But Bills fans say celebrating his recovery at this game was a moment of joy.
It's just a community coming together, and not only that, every community coming together because we all love the Bills that much.
From his hospital bed in Ohio Sunday, Hamlin tweeted "Game time" with a photo of himself sitting up and wearing his jersey and cap. The Bills, in turn, responded with a touchdown on the very first play before going on to win the game.
This is storybook, an opening kickoff return for Damar Hamlin, and this place is absolutely going wild.
Bradley Blackburn, CBS News, Buffalo, New York.
Before the game, Hamlin also posted a message saying he wanted nothing more than to run out of that stadium tunnel to play. We take time now to honor a local veteran. Raymond Griffin III, a Nevada, Missouri native, is currently serving in the U.S. Army. Griffin began his term of service in 2009 and currently serves at the Camp Clark Training Center. A decorated serviceman, Griffin has been awarded the Army Reserve Components Achievement Medal, National Defense Service Medal, Global War on Terrorism Medal, Missouri Long Service Ribbon, and the Missouri State Emergency Ribbon. To Sergeant Raymond Griffin, we thank you, our 4-state hero. And coming up, President Biden visits the border for the first time since winning the 2020 election. Plus, a new COVID variant is spreading across the nation. We've got information on how to protect yourself from the virus. President Biden making his first visit to the border today since he took office. It comes just days after Biden announced a crackdown on unauthorized border crossings and expanded restrictions on asylum. El Paso has seen a surge in migration and resources are being stretched thin. CBS correspondent Christian Benavidez reports.
Amid intense scrutiny over his immigration policies, President Biden visited the border for the first time as commander-in-chief. In El Paso, he met with local officials as well as Border Patrol agents at the city's busiest port of entry. El Paso has been struggling to cope with an influx of migrants.
It's a real drastic situation. It's a real crisis. I don't know what's going to happen.
Pastor Rafael Garcia, one of the many faith leaders on the ground, seen the impact firsthand.
They're not going to disappear. So you need to have some sort of a solution for them that's humane.
We have a patchwork system.
On Thursday, the president announced sweeping restrictions on asylum. The new policy says migrants crossing from Nicaragua, Cuba, and Haiti will be immediately expelled to Mexico, a policy that already applies to Venezuelans. Instead, the U.S. will accept 30,000 people a month from those 4 countries if they apply through a legal process and have a financial sponsor in the U.S.
I would have loved to have seen the administration lean in on immigration from day one.
Why didn't
because,
they?
You'd have to ask them that. The executive branch is not the only branch of government that needs to do its job, though.
Democratic Representative Veronica Escobar, who's at the border with Biden, says Congress needs to act. Texas Republican governor met Biden upon his arrival, where he handed him a letter expressing his views on border laws before offering sharp criticism on the administration's immigration policy.
The president, who caused the chaos of the border, needed to be here. It just so happens he's 2 years and about $20 billion too late.
New polling shows only 38% of Americans approve of Mr. Biden's handling of immigration, while 62% disapprove. Christian Benavidez, CBS News.
Following his visit to El Paso, the president will head to Mexico City for the North American Leaders Summit to discuss immigration, drug trafficking, and economic partnerships. The ground search for a missing mother, Anna Walshy, was suspended after 2 days, but the investigation into her disappearance continued today as police returned to her home. Walshy has now been missing for 1 week. After a second straight day of combing the area with no results, police said Saturday the ground search was over. Cohasset police confirmed that they are at Walshy's home off of Route 3A and are investigating. There is no further information provided about what police are looking for at her home. The Norfolk District Attorney's Office will be the lead organization in the search.
It's not normal that she's missing, so we automatically feel that she's in danger by the mere fact that she's missing.
Walshy was last seen around 4 in the morning on New Year's Day. A new COVID variant is spreading rampantly around the nation and is bringing a new wave of cases. Alexis Davila finds out what you can do to protect yourself.
Though the winter holidays are over, a new COVID variant is gaining traction.
So it is outcompeting the other Omicron and COVID variants.
It's called XBB 1.5, and it derives from the Omicron strain. But this one is more contagious. In 1 week, the subvariant doubled its cases to reach more than 40% across the nation.
Is 75% of new infections in the Northeast.
But Chief Medical Officer S.D. Shabelman from Sinai Hospital says this variant is not sending people to hospitals as often. It doesn't mean tossing out masks altogether just yet. If you are in a large gathering, he recommends you bring one just in case, especially if you're unvaccinated. But this new strain is putting up a fight against vaccines.
It has the capacity to evade vaccines even more than the previous variants, such as Omicron.
However, Shabelman says our current vaccines are effective to some degree as they are preventing hospitalizations and death. But there is room for improvement.
In the future, we're probably going to need vaccines that are targeted at Omicron and its subvariant, and that's already being worked on.
If you start to feel sick, Shabelman says don't brush it off. Take responsibility and avoid going to work or any events to help prevent any further spread. Reporting in Baltimore, I'm Alexis Davila for WJZ.
A little later, we take a look at this week's box office numbers as a new film challenges Avatar.
Cold temperatures right now, but will they last much longer? I'll have all that information here coming up next. We'll talk about frigid temperatures right now. I've got goosebumps just thinking about going outside. Temperatures right now are nearing those freezing levels. Let's take a look outside at our Indigo Sky Casino and Resort live in Seneca, Missouri right now. You definitely don't want to be out there for too long of a time just because it's so cold right now. Temperatures are in the mid to lower 30s. Miami sitting at 35, Grove down at 31, Pittsburgh up there at 35, and Fort Scott up at 34. Very consistent across the board, but very, very frigid right now. It's only going to get colder as we head into tonight, and it's pretty cold across the board. You can see right here, very winter-like for this time of year. Little Rock down there at 45, Oklahoma dipping down into the 30s as well. Oklahoma City sitting at 39. Now let's take a look at the next couple of days. Monday in the afternoon, we'll have temperatures a little bit on the warmer side compared to what we've seen today and yesterday. Joplin sitting at 54 for the high, and then as we head into Tuesday, it'll be a little bit on the warmer side. Thank goodness. We'll be at a high of 62 in Joplin, and then this is when it's going to start to get a little bit interesting on Wednesday. It'll be pretty cloudy the majority of the day, still on the warmer side, a little bit more above average, but then we'll have a cold front push through Wednesday night into Thursday morning, and this is where we're going to see a little bit of precipitation on Wednesday. We'll have some rain push through the area, and then even some wintry mix starting around 3 a.m. into our viewing area, so you might even wake up around 7:30 on Thursday and see some flurries here and there. Now the ground is a little too warm for any type of accumulation with that, but it'll still be nice to see some flurries here and there. Now on Monday, another thing to note is these winds are coming from the south, pretty sustained at 10 to 15 mile per hour winds, but we also have wind gusts associated with that, of upwards of 35 to 40 mile per hour wind gusts, once again coming from the south, and that'll be most prominent in the afternoon. Then that'll start to slowly fizzle out as we head into the evening hours. Now tonight we'll be staying in the 30s, 36 by 11 p.m., 7 a.m. we'll be at 34, but then we'll reach up into the 40s by the time we head to 10 a.m. Now let's let's take a look at the rest of this week. Temperatures are going to be pretty seasonal, except for Tuesday and Wednesday will be a little bit warm. Now, two things to point out. Thursday morning, we'll have a chance for some wintry mix, and then on Monday, we'll have our next potential storm system in the evening.
Well, there you go. My ears started to hurt a little bit when you said wintry mix.
Yeah,
I'm
fun.
not looking forward to that one.
No fun at all. No fun.
No,
But how about those 60-degree temperatures?
Hey, I am pretty excited about that. I'll take, a couple 60-degree days. I'll give a day up for the wintry mix.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Heck yeah. All righty. Well, former Pitt State wide receiver John Brown caught his first touchdown of the season this afternoon for the Buffalo Bills. They played against the New England Patriots today. Brown is in his 9th year in the NFL after being a third-round pick back in the 2014 NFL Draft straight out of Pittsburgh State. Today's touchdown is his 31st career touchdown in the NFL. And still ahead, the Colgan girls basketball team is off to a 7-0 start this season. They've climbed the state rankings to number 3 in Class 2A. Panthers head coach Abby Farabi joined sports director Jacob Leonard in studio after the break to talk about the team's hot start. Well, eventually some movie has got to top the Avatar sequel at the box office. Could it be this weekend? David Daniel has early estimates for the top 5 films in theaters.
Where is your spear? Should have gave me this to try.
Black Panther Wakanda Forever made $3.4 million for 5th place and a domestic total of $445 million. A Man Called Otto, starring Tom Hanks, took 4th place, earning $4.2 million in fewer than 650 theaters. Puss in Boots: The Last Wish slipped to 3rd on ticket sales of $13.1 million.
If she comes in this room, I'll rip your head right off your neck, I swear to God.
Megan made a killing. The horror flick about an android with attitude, which cost us $12 million to make, grossed $30.2 million for a 2nd place debut. Avatar: The Way of Water held off Megan's challenge for a 4th straight weekend title, taking in another $45 million for a domestic total of $517 million. In Hollywood, I'm David Daniel.
Well, you seen any good movies lately?
Oh yeah, Avatar's out. I don't fully understand the hype from it, if I'm being honest.
That's okay. I don't really get it either.
No, but I see a lot of people enjoying it, so that's really good. That's really good. There we go.
Well, anything to watch with weather?
Yeah, 2 things right now. Precipitation on Thursday morning. We'll have some rain and a slight wintry mix, but then on Monday, we do have another chance to see some precipitation, mainly in the evening, but that's something to keep an eye out, so keep watching.
Cool beans.
Yeah.
All righty. Well, that's our time for now. Have a great night and an even better tomorrow. We'll catch you here later.